Hello and thanks for joining me at DCD Transporters. So let's talk about night heaters. It can't stay this mild forever. So we had a real good cold snap at the beginning of autumn, and now it's gone really warm again for December. So it is pretty mild out there for this time of year, but it isn't going to last. So there is going to be good use of your night heater before long. I'd give it a couple of weeks.
Right, okay, so let's get our heads around night heaters and how to best use them. So we term them night heaters. They're diesel heaters, auxiliary heaters, whatever you want to call them. They run off your diesel tank or an auxiliary tank if you haven't plumbed them into the main tank. But for the most efficient use, they want to be plumbed into the main tank. They're going to draw fuel from your main diesel tank in your van and provide you with lovely warm air while you're out camping in the cold, or even if you're out using it as a day van, then of course you've got some warmth when you come back to the van. You want to warm up after a chilly walk or something like that. So they are brilliant and they are very, very efficient, and the best way to use them is by using them instead of the van engine. So as long as you've got a battery that's got decent voltage and you've got fuel in your fuel tank, there is no reason why these won't work. They are so simple and they're just super reliable little units.
These are our most common asked questions about the night heater, so stay with us and give it a watch. How much fuel does it use? Well, generally at its highest setting, so on its performance setting, I would expect it to probably use somewhere around the realms of like 0.1 of a litre per hour. So it's a very small amount. You could run the night heater for literally a 24-hour period and probably only move your fuel gauge in the van probably by the breadth of the needle itself, so it's not going to consume a massive amount as diesel. So it's in the millilitres really. It's quite an efficient unit. How long can you run the night heater for? Well, until you're warm enough, or you run out of fuel, or you run out of electric. The night heater doesn't mind being on permanently. It's not going to do anything after a certain amount of hours. You can keep running it indefinitely. Yeah, like I said, it'll run quite happily for days on end without having to worry about it. The only thing you've got to worry about is obviously if you've got enough power to run it and you've got enough fuel to maintain it as well. So other than that, you can run it indefinitely. One of the other most common questions is your diesel heater won't start, and there's generally only two reasons why it won't start, and it's due to low voltage from the supply and battery, or you haven't got enough fuel in the vehicle itself or the tank that you're running it from. So don't forget, when these heaters get fitted, the standpipe that goes into the tank does not go all the way down to the bottom of the tank. So it depends on where that's been cut to where that's set, so it will run out at different points for different installations. And generally, if you run the tank into the reserve section, so into the red, then you stand a very good chance of the heater drawing air in through the system and the heater turning off, because it just doesn't have the fuel in it that it can then pick up to then send into the heater. And of course, voltage is critical. When the heater first starts, it's using the pump to try and pull fuel from the tank in towards the heater. So the pump is running and then the fan is running, because it's obviously trying to run that through at the same time. And then you've got the glow plug to start it as well, and the glow plug is quite a power hungry little thing. So when it's first starting is when you're going to get a higher amp draw from your battery than at any other point. When the heater's actually running, they're really economical on the electric and how many amps they're going to draw. But when it first starts, it is power hungry because everything's going on as it's trying to start itself up. Which is why if you're trying to conserve your battery, sometimes you're better to let the heater run on low without switching off than keep getting it to start and stop, because it's when it starts is at its most inefficient really, because like I said, it's drawing lots of power to try and get the glow plug warmed up, to then get the pump running, to get the fan going, and it's just using a lot of energy, whereas when the heater is running, all it's got to worry about really, and all your voltage is being used for, is just the small dose from the pump as it's pulsing, and then of course keep the fan running. So if that's all on a low setting, then of course you're not going to be using hardly any voltage at all. But that startup period is critical, that it has a good voltage from your battery and a good supply of that, so it can get everything running nice. One of our other questions is, can you drive the van through a puddle? Well, that's pretty subjective, isn't it? So it really depends on the puddle that you're driving it through. If it's a ford or something like that, and I mean as in a body of water, not the van itself, then of course if it's pretty deep and your heater is mounted externally, then you could have an issue if you decide to run the heater after it's ingested perhaps some water or got submerged in water anyway. So do let it try and drain out before you start it. The worst thing you can do is start a heater after it's been through a flood or an excessive body of water, because then what's going to happen is the heater is going to want to draw that water through itself, and then potentially it's going to work its way through the heater and onto the circuit board, and it causes no end of problems. So my advice is to really stay clear of large bodies of water and try not to drive through standing water, or standing water that's deep anyway, at any kind of excessive speed. And keep an eye on your splash guards underneath the van, because they are notorious for breaking. We replace lots that have been damaged, and of course that is the thing that's stopping your heater from getting all of that water thrown up at it underneath. So you can drive through water at any normal given puddle without having to worry about it. The way that we fit the night heaters is exactly the same as how Volkswagen fit theirs, so they've deemed it okay, so therefore we don't have a problem with where they're fitted. You've just got to be careful again with large standing water and driving through excessively fast. So hopefully you've been a good camper van owner and you've been operating your night heater over the last few months at least once a month and running it for half an hour, or if you haven't done that, my recommendation is really you want to run it every other month for at least an hour on its very highest setting. So people say, are these items maintenance free? And they are maintenance free. Realistically, you don't really need to do anything, but if you've got an auto term heater or one of the sort of higher end brands, then they will come up and tell you they want to be run. Normally they'll come up once a month, as they've got a built-in calendar, and they'll say once a month please start me, and it will run for about half an hour or so. We generally tend to recommend that you run it for an hour, and maybe run it every other month. You don't need to do it every month, but every sort of 6 weeks to 8 weeks, if you can run it for an hour and then run it really hot, so on its very high setting, then they are pretty much maintenance free. You'll have to do nothing else with them. And the reason for that is that they're using your pump diesel out of your tank. Those that have installed a night heater and you've put it into an auxiliary tank, you do need to be careful about what you're filling it with. Obviously pump diesel is best because it's pretty clean, so it's been cleaned and it runs through a filter through the pump before you get it, and then of course we're not going right down into the bottom of the tank to pick up any sediment. So realistically, pump diesel should be pretty clean. You don't need to run it with any additional filters. So the reason we run the heater at least every 6 to 8 weeks is because we don't want old diesel sitting in the pump itself, and we don't want it going waxy. So what we're trying to do by keeping it in regular use is cleaning that diesel through and keeping that diesel as new as possible, so it doesn't build up any sediment within the fuel system and go that sort of waxy diesel that effect that it can suffer from. And of course it keeps the burner clean by running it in its hottest setting, because generally in spaces like a small camper van, a 2 kilowatt heater is a lot. That's a really powerful heater to heat what is effectively quite a small space. So we do generally tend to run them on low when we're using them, when we're out and about, and that can build up a bit of soot, so it's not getting very hot inside the actual unit itself, so it's not cleaning it out. So once a month on its high setting, we'll keep this thing maintenance free, and then keep the diesel fresh inside the unit as well.
We get asked all the time, can you use the night heater while the vehicle is driving? Well, yes you can. Quite simply, it does not care whether the vehicle's running or not. If it's been fitted correctly, it's got its own standpipe going into the fuel tank, and that's going to draw its own fuel. It doesn't care if there's more fuel being drawn through another standpipe and into the lift pump for the engine. That doesn't matter. So they are way more efficient than using your engine to warm up your van. You've got to think about this in a logical way. You're using a 2-litre engine to warm up your van, and your engine is designed to be as thermally efficient as possible, so they take ages to warm up when they just sit at idle. They're not designed to get really hot. So you start in the van and trying to de-ice the windows in the morning, not great. So what we recommend you do is that you use the timer functions on the heater to create you the most comfortable environment. So by using the timers, you can set a time in the morning before you need to use the van, and then get the heater to start, and then overlap the time that you need to leave and the time that the heater is going to turn off. So let's say, for argument's sake, you're leaving early in the morning, 6 o'clock. You want the heater to come on about 5:15, something like that. Give it about half an hour to 45 minutes to warm up the interior of your van, particularly if the weather outside's really cold. Don't forget, it's sat overnight, it's got really cold. Let's say it's got down into like properly low single-digit temperature, 2-3 degrees with a bit of wind chill. Then obviously the interior of the van is going to take a bit of a while to warm up. So get your night heater starting about 45 minutes before you need to then jump in the van. Set your timer for 5:15. Run your timer for 15 to 20 minutes after you've left. Some people might adjust that and make that a little bit shorter, but for us about 15 minutes is the sweet spot. So you're jumping in the van about 6 o'clock, your heat is still going to be running. Switch your van on as normal. You should find that the interior of your van is now nice and warm. The heat has done its job, and now you're going to start the engine and you're going to move away straight away. Your windows should be defrosted, everything in the van is going to be easy to use, warm to touch, great, just get on. Don't leave the van idling, you don't need to. Start it, go. That's when the engine's at their most efficient. Don't just sit there with it running on the driveway just to get the engine up to temperature. Leave straight away. So that 15-minute overlap is going to mean that the heat that's coming out of the engine, turn the heater off. Get a little bit of air maybe going up towards the windscreen as just its normal through flow, but don't have like the heaters turned on, because obviously you're then going to have cold air coming out of the vents. So leave that 15-minute window of overlap for the heater to stay on and for you to then get the van warm. Most diesel engines will take several miles at least before they are up to temperature, and up to temperature is going to be middle of your dial, about 90 degrees. That could be 5, 6, 7, 8 miles down the road easily, especially when the conditions are cold, because like I said, your engine is actually very thermally efficient. So 15 minutes later, you're down the road, you've done a few miles, the heat is now going to switch itself off. That's great, and now your engine should be getting close to operating temperature, normal operating temperature, and then your heater for the van is going to take over and do the rest. Don't worry about having the heater running at the same time. The amount of fuel that the heater is going to use is so negligible, it's so small that we're talking like millilitres rather than litres. Whereas your engine running that for idle your van engine, you know, is going to use litres per hour, whereas the heater is in millilitres. So that's your difference. It's a tiny little heat exchanger that you've got. That's 2 kilowatt. It's super efficient and uses hardly any diesel. So use that, especially for that overlap to get going. The only thing you can't do with the heater on, which a lot of people aren't necessarily aware of, is fill the tank up at the fuel station. What happens is, as you're filling it with diesel and you've got the heater running, what can happen is the fuel will cavitate. So what that means is it's going to have like a lot of fuel rushing into the tank, and it's going to create lots of little bubbles, and those little bubbles are going to get into the fuel line, and it could then stop the heater from working. So those bubbles, as it's then going through the heater, are going to stop it from creating complete combustion, and therefore it's going to switch the heater off, as it then has nothing to burn. So don't fill the vehicle fuel tank up with the heater running. Always switch the heater off, fill the tank up, and then you can put the heater back on again. When we were working away, we went out to Romania one year, and I think the temperature dropped down to something like, I don't know, I think it was minus 27, nearly minus 30 degrees. It was properly cold, and they recommended that we just didn't switch the engines off. So we had the engines running permanently, and we had the auxiliary heaters running permanently as well to top up those, because like I said, it was just so cold. The engines weren't bringing enough warmth into the vehicles. So when we used to fill them up, you have to turn the heater off momentarily, fill the things up with diesel, and then switch the heaters back on as soon as you'd finished filling up, because like I said, you don't want those air bubbles to get into the auxiliary heater. Now they will self-bleed, you don't have to do anything extraordinary to get the air out of those, but they are going to take several starts to then fire back up again to get them going. So it's best if you just switch them off for a few minutes and then switch them back on again. But effectively, like I said, you can run your auxiliary heater at the same time as you're running your van, whatever you've got it mounted in. It doesn't matter. Absolutely perfect. So I'll show you some of the timers and how they work on the auto-turn one, and we'll have a look at those. Okay, so this is the auto-turn comfort controller. We can wake him up just by pushing the little jog wheel. Now they're really easy to get into the timer setup, so we just push the button again, go to timers, and then you'll see on here it's got timer 1, 2 and 3, so you can navigate around using the jog wheel. So let's go timer 1. So like we said in the example, we're going to enable the timer and then adjust. So we said we were going to start around about 6 o'clock in the morning, didn't we? So if we set the time for 5:15, that gets us the 45 minutes we were after. So we got that on there. So duration, set that for an hour, 60 minutes. Hit the go button, and now it's going to ask you when you want it to come on. So we've got every day, working days, specific days, and then back to every day again. So specific days, this is a good one, because you might go out on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday, and you might work from home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So let's say we want this to fire up on those days that you're going to be working in the office, workshop or whatever. So you want day 1 is a Monday, so let's go, yeah, let's do that. Day 3 is a Wednesday, let's do that, and day 5 is Friday. So all fairly simple, all makes sense. So we've got the heater coming on at 5:15 on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Happy days. Let's go to the forward arrow, and then it asks you what sort of heating setup you want. So we've got heating is on there, and we've clicked that and it's saved. It will then give you the option if you wanted the ventilation to come on. So there we go. Right, so it's selected heating to come on, and it will come on. So we can check those. Check your timer 1 there, 5:15. Happy days. Yeah, so that's good, it's on, and you'll know it's on because this will now flash green
down here, so you'll see that flash intermittently like it just did. And then up at the top here it's got a little picture of the clock. It's coming on at 5:15 on days 1, 3 and 5, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Brilliant. And then it will come on the heating setting you last used. So if you've got it on heating and then you say you want it on power mode, you want it on full power, bish bosh bosh, and that's how it will then start up. So that's as easy as that. Oh, and if you make a mistake or if you want to turn that off, back into timers, click timer 1 and then just disable. Now back to normal. The clock has got nothing next to it, it's not going to turn on. We're all back to how we were. But they're so simple to use, and it's such a great way of heating the van up before you go out, so you're not cold and you're not wastefully using your diesel for your main engine, also for your van engine, which is the most inefficient way of running your van. So I hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions, do give us a shout and drop a comment below if you've got a different way of doing it, or if you've got some other tips of how you use your heaters. But yeah, this is a super simple way of maximizing your comfort over the winter months. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video about your diesel heater. If you've got any questions, please do leave them in the comment section below, or if you've got your tips that you've used over the last sort of season or so to get great use out of your heaters, then do let us know. But in the meantime, we do appreciate you watching. Thanks very much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up if you found this video useful, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. In the meantime, do take care and we'll see you soon. Cheers, bye bye.